Good morning, students. Welcome back to the economics class. In our last lesson, we distinguished between a change in quantity demanded and a change in demand. And you saw that the change in demand is a shift of the demand curve from one position to another. So the lesson today will be examining the factors affecting the demand for a commodity. And we are going to proceed in this manner. Look at the meaning of the determinants of demand. We look at the factors affecting demand. Then I will give you some work to take home. So factors affecting demand are the things other than price that can cause the demand either to increase or to decrease. In other words, they are the things that can cause the demand curve to change its position. They are also known as the determinants of demand. So what are the factors affecting demand, or what are the determinants of demand? The first determinant is the level of income. If those who buy a good have a lot of income, they will tend to buy more of that good. And if those who buy a good have a small income, they will tend to buy a small quantity of that good. So we say that the greater the incomes of those who buy a good, the greater the demand for that good. And the smaller the income of those who buy a good, the lesser the demand for the good. The next determinant is price of other goods. So the price of other goods affect the demand for a good. And how does this happen? An increase in the price of a good that has a substitute will cause more of the substitute to be demanded. We look at an example. If there is an increase in the price of butter, you will expect people to buy more of the substitute to butter, which is margarine. If there's an increase in the price of meat, you will expect people to buy more of the substitute for meat, which is fish. Then for goods which are complementary, in other words, goods which are demanded together, like cars and petrol, an increase in the price of one will cause less of the other to be demanded. If the price of cars were to increase, people will buy less cars. And when people buy less cars, less petrol will be bought. We look at the next determinant, taste and fashion. An increase in consumers' taste for a good will increase the demand for the good. So when people develop a taste for a good, they will buy more of the good. Then when goods come into fashion, their demand will increase. And the demand for those goods that go out of fashion will fall. Then the next determinant is expectation of a future change in price. When consumers expect the price to rise in future, they tend to buy more now than to buy later at high prices. So when Christmas is approaching, the prices of some goods will start to rise. And people know that the trend will continue. So when the price of certain goods start to rise before Christmas, people will rush to the market and buy more of those goods than to buy around Christmas when the price has risen too high. When they expect price to fall, they tend to reduce their demand to buy in future when the price has fallen very low. Look at the population. A population made up of young people will buy goods and services needed by the young, like school books, like school bags. On the other hand, a population which is aging will buy goods and services needed by the old, like walking sticks, like pipes, like blankets, like spirits, and the list is long. Then you look at government policy. If taxes are imposed on goods, the tendency will be for their prices to rise, and then the demand for them will fall. If hire purchase restrictions are removed, the demand for goods bought on hire purchase will increase. We move to advertisement. A successful advertisement will increase the demand for the goods advertised. There's no full stop here. The word advertise has no full stop here. Correct it. Then we move to weather. The demand for umbrellas will increase in the rainy season and fall in the dry season. Then the demand for ice cream increases in the dry season and falls in the rainy season. Then we look at necessity. The demand for necessities is usually very high. So those are the factors affecting demand. To test your understanding, look at how the following will affect the demand for a good. So as an assignment, how will the demand for a good be affected by A, an increase in the incomes of those who buy the good; B, a fall in the price of the substitute of the good; C, the good comes into fashion; D, a fall on the tax placed on the good; and E, consumers expecting the price to rise in future. Once more, we have come to the end of the class for this week. Thank you very much for listening, and have a nice day. See you again next week.